Hello, my name's Ian Wakeman and it's my pleasure to welcome you to here, the University of Sussex in sunny Brighton. Let's go.
Welcome to Product Design at the University of Sussex.
Hello, so my name is Ian Wakeman. It's my pleasure as the Deputy Head of the School of Engineering, Product Design and Informatics to welcome you to our sort of short show about product design here at Sussex. So first of all, you may be wondering, where are we? We're on the outskirts of Brighton in the sunny sort of national park on the South Downs. And so if we go to the slides, and we're going to slides. Are we going to slides? Okay, so let's go carry on. So here we're going to have a short show in which we're going to show you what's going on. We're going to go to here we are and showing the campus. On the right hand side you will see where the residences are. In the centre are the academic buildings, and at the end is the sort of Amex Community Stadium of Brighton and Hove. So what are we going to do? Slide please. You'll be coming along to join us at a great time. Sussex has around 19,000 students from over 125 countries. We've got the work for 3 Nobel Prizes has been done in the short history of Sussex over 50 years. We've won 3 Nobel Prizes and 1 Crawford Prize, which is the equivalent of a Nobel Prize, but for biological sciences. You can pick a number of university rankings. The one we quite like using at the moment is the Times Higher Education University Ranking, which has Sussex as number 19 in the UK. Faculty. Next slide, please. I'm the sunniest campus in the UK. This is getting... Next slide, please. So what we want to do is talk today about what you can get when you come to product design here at the School of Engineering and Informatics. Shortly I'll be handing over to my colleagues Claire Harris, who will talk a bit about the course itself, and then Claire Potter, who will be in her studio in Hove, who will be talking about sort of how it connects in with industry. But one of the great things about coming to Sussex to do product design is that one of the great things about coming to Sussex is that you'll be able to work with engineers who actually build stuff in product design. And then in informatics, we have the people who'll be able to help you in doing digital work. Much product design now is as much about actually sort of creating the digital representation as well as the actual product itself. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so one of the nice things about doing product design is there aren't enough product designers. You're in high demand. And what happens when you're in high demand is, in general, you can probably go into a job which is pretty well paid. Okay, next slide, please. Our faculty are a lovely bunch of people. There's about 76 of us in total. We have a bunch of expertise which ranges from artificial intelligence through to sort of consciousness, through to understanding of how we actually sort of feel our way within the world. And one of the great things is many of us actually go out and take our research and spin it out into companies. So for instance, here are a sample of 6 of our companies. The one in the middle, the one called InCrowd, is the company I founded. You remember we saw the stadium at the start of the show. That stadium is where I and our team went out and built software that makes apps work better within crowds. And that worked so well that football clubs told us to go and roll it out into a commercial company. So now we have InCrowd, who work not just in football, but many other sports, and employ 50 odd people in the centre of Brighton and Hove. Okay, next slide, please. One of the great things about having sort of so many faculty who are aware of the industrial and commercial context is that it's really good and helpful in getting an industrial placement year. As a product designer, an industrial placement year is a really useful thing to have on your CV because it gives you an understanding of what it's like to work in a company, what sort of company you might like to want to work with when you're actually finished, and enables you to actually go out then and actually get jobs in places like Rolls-Royce, people like Paxton Access, a smaller company in Brighton. Okay, next slide please. The graduates we've had out of Sussex include Simon Seegers, who runs the ARM software company. ARM are the people who make the chips which run in all of the mobile phones on the planet. More recently, Lucy Hughes graduated last summer, and her dissertation was about the production of a material made from fish scales, which enables us to actually then go and build a sustainable, composable plastic for sort of doing sort of potentially packaging foods and other things. Claire will talk a little bit more about Lucy and what she's achieved shortly. Okay, so great. So I look forward to actually seeing you here in September. I'll happily talk a bit more about what it's like to be here in September. But right now, I'm going to pass over to Claire. Hello, Claire. It's nice to see you. Now, can you just tell everyone a little bit about product design? Okay, over to you, Claire.
Okay, thank you, Ian. So at Sussex, we respond to industry needs by teaching a whole range of subjects from art, from drawing and sketching ideas to layout, graphic design, CAD and 3D rendering. We use existing technologies as well as emerging technologies to design. But we also look at the opportunities some of these emerging technologies create for our students designing for future formats. We teach the sciences that enable our students to become the next generation of multidisciplinary makers and creative practitioners. We do all this with underlying engineering principles. You'll learn about assembly, you'll learn about materials, you'll learn about construction, but you'll also learn about the end of life cycle. And you'll also learn about human behaviours, not just the physical constraints, but also human limits that enable us to design for a more inclusive future. You'll learn about communication, so whether that's conveying your designs and ideas to potential clients or industry or even fellow designers, we'll teach you how to reach a wider audience. And we do all this using a number of processes under the umbrella design thinking. But despite being called design thinking, it's very much a hands-on, creative doing way of first finding a problem, understanding a problem, and then thinking of creative solutions for them. So at Sussex, you'll have a holistic overview to product design. You won't just look at the product and how it's made, you'll look at human behaviours. So how do we interact with a product, or a service for that matter? What will make your product different? How will your product be an advancement to either society or the environment? Because at Sussex, what we don't want is your products to end up in the landfill. And that's why you'll be learning something called designing for the circular economy. So it's no longer acceptable to design a product that can, in theory, be recycled. We want your designs to be regenerative by design and not destructive. And we do all this by having a range of dedicated product design tutors from disciplines such as informatics, engineering, and of course product design, and expertise in automobile design, inclusive design, animal interaction, design thinking, prototyping, industrial design, and of course sustainable design. And having such a broad knowledge base really helps us to reach out to industry. And we get things that are called live briefs. So this is really exciting for our students because they get to work on a real problem knocking around in industry. They want our students to solve. This is great in two ways. One, we get to expand the students' portfolio, but two, you get to gain real feedback from industry experts. It's very important. We're really, really, really proud to be a member of the accredited IDE. And you'll become a member of that as soon as you start with us at Sussex, right until the day you leave. So that's the whole 3 or 4 years. You'll also be able to go on an industrial placement year at the end of year 2. So this is a really good experience also for expanding your portfolio, but also putting to use your newly developed design skills. Various recent opportunities have been at the Body Shop, Rolls-Royce, IBM, but also we have lots of smaller companies that you can work with as well, depending on what area you want to specialise in. At the end of year 3, you'll focus on a major design project. So this could be a set brief, or it could be an area that you want to develop further. So this is a very intense year-long project that results in a live show open to the public. And we're just going to have a quick look at that now.
The product design show here today is a showcase of all the final year's work. It's a culmination of the work that we've done in this past year, and it gives people an opportunity, the public and any media or press that might want to come as well, to see our product from the design concept all the way to the final prototype. So my product here today is utilising the colour cosmetics to use them as a pigment. So items that are dropped, broken and discontinued in stores are no longer able to be sold on shop floors. I wanted to utilise that part and find the value in it. And by using circular economy principles, I've managed to use this as a pigment and bind it with artist mediums such as gum arabic to create a functional watercolour paint, and have it in a travel set for people who would want to paint on the go or have an addition to their existing set of watercolours. The highlight of the course is definitely the design show. It's being able to see the 4 years worth of work come together, being able to collaborate with your peers, your colleagues, and also the lecturers and the supervisors, and being able to design the posters ourselves, organise the venue. I created the website myself. It's just a great way to see everything come together in a really respectable and professional way.
Okay, so to find out more about recent projects that our students have done, not just for their final year projects, but also other modules, check out our Behance website for more details. So at the end of your degree, you'll be invited to a show in London called the New Designers. So this is open to over 3,000 graduates, full of talent, and as you can imagine, it attracts an awful lot of interest from industry wanting to give prizes for the designs they like the best. And our students normally do very well here. So this isn't the only prize that Lucy won for her invention, Marinatex. It's a solution to single-use plastic films made out of marine debris. Lucy has also won the International Dyson Award. So just to put that into perspective, it's a huge honour. She's seen off stiff competition for over 27 countries. This competition was open to all the engineering students, all the product design students, and all the industrial design students from the past 4 years. So at the end of your time with us, you'll be well equipped in design, environments, but also have really good problem-solving skills. And this makes you attractive to all areas of design. So some of our recent graduates have worked for interaction design, sustainable design, industrial design, product design, art direction, a broad range of films. So, who are we looking for? Well, if you want to work in a forward-thinking, friendly, inclusive environment, if you want to design working on real-world problems, if you want to shift society's view onto a more sustainable future, if you want to gain valuable feedback from industry experts, then we really want to hear from you. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a little bit more information now by handing you over to a colleague of mine who also works for the product design team. Her name is Claire Potter. She's a product design tutor, but also an expert in sustainable design. And apparently she's from the loo, so I'm just going to hand that over to now.
Lou, I am in the loo. So welcome to my design studio. I teach up at the University of Sussex, but then the rest of the time I run a design studio which is based around circular economy principles. Now you might have heard Claire already talk about the circular economy, but what is it? Basically it's a system that is regenerative by design, and as product designers we fit right at the foundation of that. everything you see around you has been designed, been manufactured, and it goes on to be used by a multitude of people around the world. So what does that encompass for us? It's the materials that we use. It's, are we using a recycled type of material? Can that thing be taken to pieces and rebuilt and repaired? Is it something for rental, maybe, that multiple people might use? So thinking and designing for a circular economy is something that the industry really is driving towards. This is what's going to create a better world for us all. So I'm really lucky to not only do this for my day job, but then also come and teach and show all of the product designers how really we are an essential part of that jigsaw. So when it comes to materials, you might think, yeah, of course, we know how to reuse materials. We know how to recycle things. But if you think about it, we could take a waste material like this old fishing net. So this is a polypropylene fishing net. And you think, yeah, there's lots of people that make stuff. So for example, things like this, where material has been reused. But this really has quite a small amount of value when we think about its end of life, its second life, what it can be used for. But if we know what that material is, and we know this is polypropylene, you can actually turn it into things like this. So this is far more interesting, not only for how the material can be used, but how people might want to actually buy the thing and hopefully use the thing for a very long time. And the perfect example of this is my sunglasses. So these are also made from the same types of fishing net. And if they break, they can be chipped up and then turned into another pair of sunglasses. So literally going round and round in the loop. So I've said this is basically what industry is looking for. If you think about the world, we need to be much more clever with how we use the materials, how we interact with our stuff. And product designers, we are the designers of stuff. The buck starts with us, and we have the ability to affect incredible change. So industry partners come into the University of Sussex to actually work with all of our guys on all of the projects, their live briefs, and of course coming from an industry background, I know that this is what people are looking for. Coming into an industrial placement year, having this type of knowledge is integral. You can take that into an industry setting and really give a huge amount of value back to the people that you're actually gaining knowledge from back in your industrial placement year. This is the way forward. And we know that combining circular economy principles is exactly what industry is looking for to create a really regenerative future that is based on design thinking and based on the stuff that you're going to be learning at the University of Sussex. So thank you very much, and I'm going to hand straight back to Ian.
Thanks very much. We've been waiting for some questions to come in from various people. The first question we've had is, what's it like to actually sort of live on the University of Sussex campus? Just so happens our colleagues over in professional services have already prepared a film for that. So let's show some VT. Okay, right. Okay, so we've had a couple of questions coming through. We'll sort of show the telephone number shortly again as well if anyone got anything else. But the first question we've got is, what sort of software do you use on the product design course? So I'm going to pass that one over to Claire to answer. So Claire, what sort of software do you use on the product design course?
That's a really good question. Well, we've got all the software, of course, available at the university, but also what we do let you have is your own SolidWorks license, which you can have on your own computer at any time. And we also let you have your own Creative Cloud license. So that's not just InDesign, Illustrator. And it gives you the whole caboodle. So if you want to go into films and do other things as well, you can.
Okay, and so the next question was, what's it likely to be like on the University of Sussex campus come September? Well, like the rest of the university, like the rest of the universities across the country, we're still getting ourselves together about how we're going to teach people when September turns up. Our best guess at the moment is what's going to happen is going to be a number of lectures are going to be remote. There will be social distancing implemented around the classes. about when you come into the design studios, you'll be working in smaller groups so you can maintain social distancing all the time. And then the rest of the campus will actually sort of work in a social distancing way. And how people at things like the bars and everything else will work is dependent upon what the rules the government actually give us. I'm afraid I can't give much better than that, but I think it's probably going to be, it will still be a great experience to actually come to Sussex. Okay. There's one other question we've got coming up now. So Claire, how many sort of product design students do we typically have in a year, and what's the staff student ratio that we typically have?
So typically in a year we'll have between 30 and 35 students, and the staff ratio, well, we've got 8 full-time staff and 5 or 6 staff that are kind of ALs and come in for special things. So staff ratio pretty good. Because it's such a small cohort in every year, obviously we know everybody's names, it's friendly, everybody knows each other.
Okay, so thanks very much, Claire. That was really useful. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and thank you to Claire Potter and to Claire Harris for sort of introducing sort of product design. There's been a really cool production team and a really cool product behind this called Mavis. It's worth actually having a look at. And it'd be really great if you have any questions, just let us know on the telephone number or just follow us up by email and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So thanks very much, everyone. Do stay safe, and we look forward hopefully to seeing you come September. Thank you.